Hello, everybody. My name is Michael Bürger. I'm in Germany, and welcome to the podcast Data Architecture Modernization. We would like to introduce you today into multiple categories we defined for a data foundation in order to design a future-proof data architecture for BI, AI, and data science use cases faster and more cost efficiently. Our main speaker today will be Marcelo Luft. Welcome, Marcelo.
Hi, Michael. I'm here from sunny Southampton today.
Very good. Uh, Marcelo, um, now let me introduce the EU Hub network. So we are intercontinental partner network from the EU, let's say Europe, for the distribution of software and services to a large community of decision makers and experts which follow us in the areas of IT, digitalization, data architecture, GRC, and security. EU-Hub.net was founded in Germany. We concentrate on the offering of valuable IT consulting services and innovative software solutions. It's industry independent. I'm founder of a network and the sales partner of ATL 17, Marcel Luft. And uh, since a while, I'm supporting customers in the German financial services and other industries. And we started actually together at the time with DataStage, an ETL software tool. And afterwards, I worked for Oracle EMEA for several years, also focused in the data warehouse area. So about ETL 17, Marcelo, please introduce your company.
Yes, ETL 17, it's a new startup that focuses on the data vault builder market for data vaults, of course, but we also do data warehouse. Data lakes has been a very big market for us here in the UK. And we use solutions from Databricks, from Talent. IBM is now the owner of the data stage current version, so we work closely with IBM whenever we have to. We were founded in the UK as a consulting company specialized in developing and implementing proof of concepts, data architectures, and our goal has been from the beginning to let customers get the most out of their data landscape, out of their data assets that they have. Recently, we have ventured into AI, especially with Microsoft. I myself, I'm an ex-Microsoft employee, and this has allowed me to facilitate the cloud adoption in Azure, but I've also done it with Google Cloud Platform and AWS.
Thank you, Marcelo. And now would like to start with this slide, which shows different categories for closing the gap if it comes to data architecture. So, in other words, these are several focus areas of ATL 17 and of EUHub.net. Let's start with analytics. Of course, as Marcelo said, it depends on the results, what you get out of your data based on a solid foundation for BI, AI use cases and data science use cases. Then further, we would like to, with our solutions, we would like to support customers regarding the business value. So with Data Vault, it's possible to achieve faster results. Data integration is one focus area, data modeling, of course, also to add additional metadata for the evolution of your data warehouse, data quality, data governance, the metadata management, also based on software tools. Lakehouse tuning is a big area because ETL 17 is certified for Databricks, for example, and you can save a lot of costs regarding several tuning capabilities, and Marcelo will mention each of those topics in his presentation soon. Data fabric, not last but not least, actually a reference architecture mentioned by the BARC analyst group, a German analyst company. Okay, so was just a short introduction. Now I hand over again to Marcelo. So we will start with analytics and uh, to hear more about things also mentioned by the Gardner Group.
Yes. Important here is Power BI. I want to mention it again. It's the solution for business intelligence from Microsoft. The primary focus of Gen AI initiatives, this is a Gartner study, and this is what I also see in the market. It's customer experience retention. That's why people and companies invest lots of money. Revenue growth, cost optimization, business continuity are the most important reasons why companies want to adopt artificial intelligence nowadays. And there are serious business cases for this. It's just the services. How do you get open tools, open source tools to build your own AI uh, machine fabric inside your company?
Okay. And the ETL services, even with several open source tools, you can build your own Gen AI based knowledge system. For example, there is a webinar available where our partner Data World Builder is showing how they build such a system, even based on open source tools. Okay,
Yes, and now the one last thing in this slide is important. It's a sentiment analysis on data without writing code. This is a very powerful message. You get an email and you get a sentiment analysis. The customer satisfied? Is he not satisfied? Can we make a happy customer out of the email that he sent us? And the AI machinery immediately goes into place for this.
so okay, the next category is maximizing data warehouse business value. And by the way, here, if you get the slides after the podcast registration, you can yeah dive deeper via the links also.
Yes. The to get you to have a data warehouse, it sounds nice, but to have a data vault, it's even better because you get dynamic data models where your stars, hubs, and satellites, the links between them can change, and the whole entity relationship diagram can be generated in a very simple manner. As an architect, I know that I've had to draw lots of diagrams, integration diagrams. We are certified for Data Vault Builder, and as an MSP, we support both the implementation and production of this to get more value out of your data warehouse.
So it's relevant regarding changes. Yeah, if the department, the business department would like to change something, a data world builder is telling his customers it's faster because you can quickly yeah, create and yeah, bring faster the changes into production based on the Vault technology, data Vault technology.
Yes.
So if it comes to data integration, again, some some views from Gardner Group.
Yes, here it's important. The 2000 post enterprise data warehouse era, we had fragmented analysis, data warehouses, data marts, and custom sandboxes running around every customer department and every enterprise area. In 2010, we had a big jump in the LDW with unified analysis, common semantic layers that made everybody's life easier from an IT perspective. But nowadays, with active metadata, augmented analysis, and AI, everything has become much easier. The challenges and solutions that we still see is in the automation of this, the import of data models to the data vault, the migration of the vault. And what we have done in the past is we support proof of concepts to show the customers this dynamic data modeling that can very easily modify a complex entity relationship diagram into the next generation of data vault things that the customer might need. And we help customers in the evaluation phase, the annual managed services in the production phase.
Okay. So, and then if it comes to data modeling, yeah, maybe even AI generative, there are tools on the market, yeah, like Flow BI.
Yes, this is years of experience in data modeling. This is something that we only see it with several specific, with very few specific software vendors where they automate AI generated data models and they try to make this whole ETL, extraction, transformation, load, and extraction, load, and transfer processes into a very seamless conundrum, I'm going to call it, or a very easy way from a user perspective where he doesn't really need to care about the complexity behind it with a solution like this Data Vault Builder. This is very, very important for a good solution, any data solution. You're going to need a metadata management tool or way of managing your metadata in the background that is descriptive, structural, and administrative. What do we do as far as first services go? Well, first of all, what does it mean? What does the entity mean? What does the data record mean? What does it contain? When was it published? This is the description that every end user wants to have about their data records. Then they structure it. The record has a structure inside it. How does it relate to other data sets? How is it organized? What's the key? Is it sorted? And then the administrative part of it. When was it created, modified, or archived? Who can access it and how large is it? The key part here is the mapping of the metadata of the existing data vault created with DBT to the new format required by Data Vault Builder. And very important here again, the AI generated data vaults that can create from raw data, metadata, extraction from relational databases, Delta Lakes, apps, Salesforce, SAP, and many other connections through JDBC connectors. We can help you in the modernization of your metadata management concepts through implementation of these innovative software tools.
Okay, thank you, Marcelo. And then if it comes to data quality as another category.
Yes, key here is the data quality concept that every software vendor applies to the data records. Databricks has a very interesting way of doing this with their medallion architecture, where they have a lakehouse and they put stuff that's not as curated or clean in the bronzy area of the lakehouse, and they have a silver area of the warehouse where things are ready to be published or showed to the customer. The data itself is a little better, and then you have the golden part of this medallion architecture. The golden part are records that when you send an email to this record or to this email address, you're going to get a response, and most probably you're going to get a sale also, which is very, very important. Now, some data quality rules: validity, accuracy, consistency, integrity, and timeliness. All of this helps to modify and to showcase the value of the data in a much better way. Lowers risk of project failure due to better data quality. That's one of the advantages you're going to have with us. You're going to have accurate data that reduces the risk of incorrect conclusions. So, in a nutshell, the services we offer here, and this is one of the specialties that I've also been involved in the last 5 or 6 years very deeply with customers, is this data quality consulting to see what data the customer has and then ensure that this data is used for reporting and analysis and is reliable for project successes and not just throwing emails out of the blue. Data governance, another very important concept. BARC is a very well-known institution in Germany. The analysts have also recommended this way of doing things in data governance. You have your data architecture, your data modeling, your data storage, data security, and also data integration, documents, reference master data, data warehouse, and business intelligence, and above all, the metadata, and again, the data quality. All of these areas are very, very important, and EU Hub.net here, they have a very independent and specialized consulting partners that cover data quality and data security through several tools, like, for example, IBM Guardium. It's one of the leaders in this field. In addition, we are ETL 17, the consulting part of it. We support the data governance concept with software, but also without software, because the concepts sometimes are more important than the software underlying it. Because it's easy to fill out a screen and put some information in there, but to have a holistic, a full view of data governance, sometimes it's good to take a look at your enterprise data architecture, and then from there on, yes, we can start looking what are you expecting of data governance, and then we can create all these policies and things that define the data governance.
So, because if someone is already using a data lakehouse, for instance, from Databricks or from other vendors, how ETL 17 can help, Marcelo, please?
Yes, several customers that I've visited this year, they subscribe to the Databricks data intelligence platform without realizing that there's a lot of work that needs to be done once you have a monthly subscription to Databricks. The the subscription cost depends on how much you use it, where you use it, and how much CPU you use, storage. I mean, it's a complex formula, but from the beginning, it doesn't look that expensive. In reality, once you go deeper into it and Databricks gets adopted across the enterprise, the costs tend to rise. I'm not going to say significantly, but tend to rise. And in the end, if you compare the cost of Databricks against other software vendors where they go to put the software on premises, Databricks has the advantage it runs in the cloud. You don't have to pay an upfront fee or to pay a large sum upfront. But long term, you're going to end up also paying something similar to the on-premises software. For example, Delta Lake. Delta Lake is an open software solution. Very few customers know that, but you can download it from the internet and implement it in-house. We've done it. We've implemented it also at customer sites. And Delta Lake is what Databricks is built on. Of course, Databricks brings a lot of value on top of Delta Lake, but the concept of Delta Lake is a unified data storage for reliability and sharing. This is a three-stage workshop where you can really look at the tuning potentials and analyze the results, recommend something from the customer. So one of the things we've done this year, for example, was get a customer into Databricks, but without all the hassle that they would have to do around it, without all the calculations of cost. Just get them on this data platform. Once they're in there, everything becomes easier because Databricks is also has AI tools and things to generate SQL code, makes the life a lot easier.
Okay. And a typical reference architecture based on Microsoft technology is called Fabric. And what is your experience with Fabric, Marcelo?
I think it's one of the best solutions I've seen. it's gotten so good that very few people ignore it. As many customers ignore other Microsoft products. I myself am going to dive into Fabric very deeply now in November, starting November 4th. There are several presentations for partners, developers, where the idea is to learn as much as you can from Microsoft Fabric, learn the data engineering concepts, the data factory concept, the one lake concept, Microsoft Purview, which is the metadata management part of this, the Power BI concept. And from November 4th onwards, I'm going to be deep into these conferences from Microsoft. If anybody's interested, contact me. I can send them a link or an email with how they can subscribe and register for this. And then the nice part is on November 14th, 10 days afterwards, there's some certifications that are going to start for the next week or so. It's from November 14th until the third week of November. And if you want to get certified, this is the chance.
Okay. Also, I talked to someone from Microsoft at the Snowflake World Tour, and they said they are open. So this is their reference architecture. But if you want to put Snowflake or Google, uh, BigQuery or Databricks, they are open. So it's not a close architecture; it's an open architecture, and many Microsoft-minded customers like it. So let's come to some conclusions already. So we talked about these different categories, um, and in other words, we can offer a workshop which covers all categories, or we focus in the workshop uh, of choice by the customer's decision for one of the categories. Yeah. So if you have a business problem, if you want to have a deeper look together with our consultants on the data modeling, we can run the data modeling oriented workshop. Or if you are a lakehouse customer, we can run the lakehouse tuning workshop. And typically it works in 3 sessions. So first a discovery call or meeting, both remote or on-site. Then the remote analysis in the labs of ETL 17. And third, another web meeting or workshop on-site to present the results in a proper way. So PowerPoint, Word documents, different pages. And um, based on the workshop results, you can build your decision for next steps if you would like to run a proof of concept or would like to get a consulting proposal from ETL 17 or next steps. And this is what we do, and these are the conclusions. So we wanted to introduce you with the different categories we can cover to build data foundation for your future-proofed data architecture. And in our words, as a conclusion, you can order a workshop on a fixed price without making a decision on everything else. But this is the way we can support your decision-making process. Okay, in the past, let's come to the end now. In the past, we did some interesting customer projects, uh, some of them together, Marcelo and myself, especially those in Germany. So more or less data warehouse oriented. So the first data warehouse projects in Germany, let's say, more than 20 years ago, we offered and implemented together. And then also in Switzerland, an insurance company where Marcelo had an engagement, or at this company in Berlin, um, where he was engaged, and also a big data project here at the Buffin, and several projects like cloud migration at Marks and Spencer, a retail company in the UK, also supported by Marcelo and his team. Okay, next steps. So all podcast registrants will receive the link. Uh, you are always welcome to participate in other podcasts and webinars we offer. For individual questions, we can organize a free web meeting typically half an hour, 1 hour. Uh, and if so, that's the difference. If still, um, if you run a lot of webinars, you still can't move forward. Yeah. But if you order such a workshop, we can bring you to the next level, so it can make an impact. And here are our contact details. So referred by email, but also with phone numbers. So you can find me in Germany and Marcel Luft now in London. And he speaks both English and German as well as Spanish and Portuguese. So thank you, Marcelo, for the presentation. And we would be happy to continue with some of the people who watch this podcast, or see you in the next webinar or podcast. Thanks a lot and have a nice evening.
Thank
Bye
you.
bye.
All right.